Hello, and welcome to Derailed Gaming. We're focusing on tabletop gaming, and if I want to embarrass myself, video games. This is our first video, so thank you all for watching the game. I am Kevin, or Gingy, as you'll see on the screen, playing Skorne, and across the table from me is my good friend James playing Trollbloods. I am playing Makeda 2 in Masters of War, taking Moloch Karn and a Basilisk Kriya, 2 Agonizers, and a Cyclops Brute for her battle group. I took 2 units of Praetorian Swordsmen with their unit attachments, the Legends of Halak, Paingiver Beast Handlers, supported by Tyrant Redheim and 2 Extoller Sword Wards. James took Horgel in Storm of the North, taking a Glacier King, a Dire Troll Brawler, for his battle group. He had Creelstone Bearers and Stone Scribes with a Northkin Elder attachment, and the Trollkin Champions with Scaldy Bonehammer, and 2 units of Northkin Bear Handler and Bear Battle Bears. So, starting roll, James 1 decided he would go second. So I set up my swordsmen on either side of Makeda. Karn, the Brute, and Kriya with Agonizers and Extollers mixed in with the swordsmen, and Redheim, and the Legends on the furthest point outside. And Skorne turn 1. I measured Makeda's control range to see who would be in for dash, hoping that I could get the entire unit moving up a little bit there. And seems like everyone is in except for Redheim. He doesn't really need it, though, with his great speed of 8. So, just doing a little bit of finagling here, and seeing just if I can get my entire army inside of dash. And I guess I cast dash and deflection. That Redheim runs up his full 16 inches forward as I continue to check everybody's speed and trying to confirm where everyone should go and just other stats. I have most of them memorized, but not all of them. So I decide to activate the Legends, and they run their full speed forward as well, being as fast as Redheim under dash. This is just a standard first turn, and just made James aware that he's being filmed. So run pretty much everyone up. Just getting positions to set up my next turn. Having people run. Bottom unit of swordsmen is going to have quite a rough time, because James has the champions and the brawler down there, and I just can't see a way to cut through that much armor and that much meat. And the top unit does the same thing. Surprise, surprise. That unit was also going to be a sacrificial pawn because of the Mountain King that's up there. Didn't really foresee any huge spikes against the Mountain King, or Glacier King, I should say. But whatever damage I can get, I'll take it. And with both of the units moved up, taking a look at what else I could do. And I run the Extoller Sword up onto the hill for that unit, making sure that I can collect souls from that unit. The same with the bottom Extoller, making sure that soul collection was for sure on all of those units, on all those models. Then the agonizers run up, not doing any of their screams yet. Won't really need them this game, considering most of his guys will just completely kill any of my models besides the beasts. ARM 14 units don't really have that much survivability. And the battle group runs up kind of behind that forest. Want to preserve them until late game, just to come in and do some cleanup if I need them. I believe that's Mullikarn getting run up there into the center. He is not affected by dash because it's only warrior models. And beast handlers come up to support their beasts. Of course, always need those beast handlers. I like running them with any kind of list. Just that, especially for that enrage, which gives them that +2 strength bonus to the beasts. Alright, now we're on to Trollbloods turn 1. So, James likes to play a little aggressive with his warlocks. So, he takes Horgel and moves him up, casting Solid Ground for his tough, which he does not get if I kill him with a warrior model. It's just one of the benefits from Masters of War. And then he places the remainder Fury on the stones. And that sound you're hearing in the background is my Facebook Messenger. Sorry, I forgot to turn that off before I started recording here. The stones awaken. I believe he got 2 on that, and putting up protective aura for +2 armor Okay, I'm gonna deal with that. Okay, Glacier King activates and moves forward, taking a look at his range shots, and puts a shot into the swordsman, needing a 13 plus his rat in order to hit, and he hits, killing that. Like I said, don't even need a dice roll for damage because pitiful armor is pitiful. Anyways, he tries to look at that one swordsman. It is in range, but it is through the forest, and a little bit of a rules discussion here for line of sight, because I know that line of sight to the colossal is not blocked, but the reverse we weren't sure about. Turns out, after asking someone who has a little bit more of a grasp on the game than we do, turns out that he cannot see that model. Oh, yes, grabs the rule book. Of course. You need rules? That is the best place to go. And measuring range to the others, he's out of range for any other shots and riles the Glacier King. I want to call it a Mountain King, but it's not a Mountain King. And he puts up his Animus, just for a little bit of knockdown afterwards. Next, he's on to the Brawler, moves him up, and riles him, just to bring Horrigal back up to his Fury load on his next turn. Then moving on to the Champions, he runs the Champions down that bottom area, hoping to get little around my army. It's a little scary proposition, but I'll do what I can with it. And with that, James ends his turn, and we're on to Skorne turn 2. Leeching my Fury, I once again move Makeda, since she's kind of in the backfield there. And put up dash and deflection again. as you see in a moment here. A lot of thinking going on, but not much of a process in my head. The little jumps that you see in the video there are simply from my camera that I'm using. It likes to record in parts, so there's a couple of seconds in between each part when it records, and then I get that little bit of a jump. I'm looking into getting a different camera for recording these games, since I would like to have one continuous shot rather than a bunch of little parts. So please bear with me as I search for a new camera and attempt to do the best I can. Might be like this for a couple of videos. So, measuring charges from my Legends of Alok, just to see if I can get up there to where the stones and Horgel are. I'm figuring out what I should do. This is where I cast Dash and Deflection. And activating the bottom unit of swordsman, I declare run charge, getting as many charges into that dire troll brawler as I can. Open to spike a little bit of damage, put some hurt onto him, and monopolize some of his fury, just to get that thing running again and not fighting a bunch of weaklings. I say weaklings, but those swordsmen are pretty powerful. They also pop their mini feat for power swell, giving them an additional die to their damage rolls, so that will help. And with their 1-inch reach, they also do a combo strike. Rest are kind of in a position where they could just move. I believe I get 3 charges off. Moving that one guy back a little bit because he was in the brawler's melee range, but not in his melee range. So just moved him back a little bit to be in a spot where he wouldn't just get completely destroyed. Now, you see me kind of split the unit up there. Just wanted to try and give a path for the Legends of Halak to get into that forest. Just to set up for my next turn. So just taking a look here at their mat to then getting the ball rolling, and also explaining what Power Swell does. And here comes the roll. The first charge attack connects with and with POW 12 on arm 20, dice minus 8 with the charge does 6 to the 1. And here you'll see me roll twice for the second hit. That isn't a mistake. James asked about combo strike, thinking that it was combo smite, and when I finished explaining, we both had forgotten whether the attack hit or missed. So I rolled again. Attack hit. And deals 4 damage to the 5. And the third charge hits with 3 6s and a 1, resulting in 11 to the 5, leaving the brawler with its mind and spirit out. Huge spike in damage there. Which I kind of was hoping for. Gives a little bit of a threat to that Dire Troll Brawler, and leaving James to kind of plan out his next turn and how to deal with my swordsman. Next, I move with the Legends up, running them so I can get a little bit extra distance. Just to get in the forest and set up their next turn, leaving them base to base and in the forest, giving them a nice solid defense 18 versus shooting, which with the Glacier King and Horgle may try magic into there, want to give it a little bit of a mess up for any attempt at shooting them. Next, I ran the swordsman at the top, putting a couple up near the Glacier King, forgetting that he had his Animus up, which knocks them down as soon as they end their movement, within 3 inches of him, I believe. But only 2 of the swordsmen end up being knocked down. and the rest position themselves behind the snow. Next, I run Raheem over, just by Malakarn there, setting up for another turn. Hopefully to get Raheem into Horgle for just a large threat. That armor-piercing halberd that he carries is no joke, and with Makeda's spell giving him +2 strength and armor, Storm Rager, couldn't think of it, that spear becomes quite threatening. I move the Cyclops Brute over and cast his Animus of Safeguard so that he wouldn't be knocked down behind that forest if that ever came to be. Kreia moves up and casts Force Aura on itself, and the Agonizers run up. Still don't know what I'm going to do about that bottom unit. I'm a little worried because of the bears ambush and their threat range is just really good. Next, Malakarn, run him up and into the forest. Not sure where I was gonna go with him and what I'd do with him, but put him there just to be big Cyclops running out and being scary. The Extollers move up so they can collect souls during his turn when he kills my swordsman. Fully expecting most of my swordsmen to die here. Beast Handlers move up. Thus ending my turn and handing it over to James. Trollbloods. Turn 2. Orgel leeches his fury, and he upkeeps solid ground. James has gave James a lot of questions here for him to answer. Not exactly sure what he's going to do, and if he hits, hits me pretty hard here. Might not be too much I can do. But he starts off with the Glacier King, moving him up to engage, using his bulldoze to just kind of knock back some of my guys a bit. And killing the both of them with his initial attacks. Since they're knocked down and automatically hit, they can't survive a POW 18 to the face. But that does give my Extoller 2 souls, which really helps her out. Sitting at 3 souls, she can do a lot of damage to the Glacier King. So he starts buying and attacking more swordsmen, but he misses. Buys another and misses. Might as well buy another and misses again. Or no, he hits and kills. James stacking up his fury on the Glacier King, removing dead models. And moving on to Horgle. The Horgle heals the Brawler for 2. And then casts Consuming Flames. Targeting the Legends in the Forest there. James didn't realize that they are 18 in the forest, as they are base to base and have cover. Anyways, James boosts and misses the Consuming Flames. But his deviation ends up working better for him, as the Consuming Flames drifts towards Malakarn, tagging him and the Legends. So everyone's on fire. And he deals 4 damage to Jadeth. One damage on Sidar. And no damage to Karn or Velgesh. Then he casts Henri on himself before activating the Brawler. So he takes some swings at the swordsman. Hitting the first one and killing him without rolling any dice. The second one also hits and kills, and the extoller gains their souls. And James is eating them to regain some health there. Put a lot of damage onto the brawler, and he needs some healing. Misses his bot attack, buys in a second, misses again. Third attack, misses. Changes dice, I believe, at this point. We do like to change our dice up a little bit, since we don't like some of the results that they give us. Now, I did notice he did not bring his bears in this turn, which was good for me, because their range was a little bit concerning. James runs up the champions here, getting them in place to circle around behind my army. Probably going for the beast handlers. And Skorne turn 3 comes up. Makeda leeches Fury back, and we make the fire rolls. There's a lot of cleanup to Skorne. All the very useful animi coming off, and all of the other effects that just wear off. So rolling fire, fire goes out on Malakarn, and fire does not go out on Jadeth, and the fire roll kills him. Next, the fire roll on Sidar does not go out, but only deals 2 more damage. And on Valgash, the fire goes out. At this point, I didn't see my chance to attack Horgol directly, but I decided to start with the bottom extoller. Standing still for an aiming bonus, and shoots at the brawler, ignoring line of sight. But he's still in melee, so I boost the shot. And miss. The extoller at the top does the same thing, stands still for an aiming bonus, but I don't bother to boost this or anything since the Glacier King is his target and hardly even needs to hit. And so we hit and we boost the damage. Since the Glacier King is a 15 strength and my extoller has a POW 6 on her weapon, makes the attack a POW 21, but doing an underwhelming 4 in the 5. As you can see, I am super excited about that. I think at this point is when I realize my attack plan on Horgle. So I move Makeda up, who casts Storm Rager onto Redheem. After I go through my phone. There we go. And also feats, giving her all warrior models in her control area boosted attack rolls, and they cannot become knocked down. Then she pitches some Fury, hoping to have enough on her war beasts to leech it off and not have them go rampant. Dash is put on. She didn't pitch any Fury, she put Dash up. Next, I activate the Legends. Having Relentless Charge, which I seem to forget here. They charge Horgle. And taking a little bit here to look at the power of their weapons. I completely forget about Makeda's feet here. Even though that was the entire reason why she moved up and used her feet, was to help out with the attacks here. Anyways, I roll for Valgesh, and he misses. He was trying to do a combo strike. And then, moving on to Sidar. He attacks, and again forgetting about Makeda's feet, but he hits. And I believe I also forget that he's a charging weapon master, but he's down dice -6. Oh no, I did not forget he's a weapon master. But I do 5 whole damage to Horgle, which activates Henri on Horgle. And there's where I remember to measure from Makeda. Only turned out that Sidar was in control range, so I didn't goof up. So Henri attack misses. And I believe this is now the point where I realized that Raheem could get there. So, activating Raheem, walks through the forest with Pathfinder, then jumps over to Horgle. James making a joke of that Horgle sticks his sword up in the air, letting the cat drop down onto it. And so the attack roll for... I just knocked over Raheem. But the attack roll for the cat is boosted, and so is Raheem's, since they are in Makeda's control area. So attacking with the cat first. The cat hits. And the pounce being boosted because of using jump. And I remember something else here. I'm not sure what I remember, but I remembered something. I roll and deal 7 damage to Horgle with the cat. And then, with that armor-piercing spear, I was at dice +4. Rolling here again. I don't know why. 2 dice. Which kills Horgle, and without the tough, Skorne victory. Alright, thank you for watching. This is our very first video. We'll be updating regularly, and hopefully bringing to you more Warmachine and Hordes games in the future, as well as a couple of other tabletop games and video games we decide to do. I'd like to give a shout out to the Game Chamber and its owner Tim Brown for letting us film in the back area. And if you would like to see any more of our content here, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a video. And with that, take care.